Do you struggle to keep your minnows alive between fishing trips? I've got just the tips to keep them alive for you. Starting off here, we want to talk about why your minnows die. There's a couple things: stress, toxins in the water, and then aeration. So those are the three key things that I've found to help keep minnows alive. And let's start with talking about stress. So stress can happen two different ways. One is when the water temperature changes abruptly on them. So if you're trying to replace water to make sure your minnows have fresh water and you change out too much or there's too big of a temperature difference, that will shock the fish and it will kill them. I'll show you an example. I have my barbecue thermometer here and I'm gonna stick it in my bait cooler to see the temperature of the water. So my bait cooler is currently at 41.3 degrees for the temperature, and now we're gonna check the fresh water. The fresh water is at 44.1 degrees. So there's around a 2-degree difference there between the two different bodies of water. And these have been sitting in the same spot for 24 hours to let the temperature adjust. So just because you let your water sit and acclimate so they're close to the same temperature doesn't mean it's gonna be exactly the same. And for that reason, you only want to swap out 20 to 25% of your water each time you change water. After that, the second thing that can cause fish stress is if they don't have anywhere to hide. Fish like structure, they like to hide. We know this from fishing. We like targeting structure because we know we'll find fish by it. So a great way to give them structure is just to add some rocks, to add a couple sticks, add something in there that'll give them areas to hide. So I've just got a couple rocks and I put these in the bottom of my bait cooler, and that gives them a spot to hide out. Immediately after adding those rocks into the bait cooler, you can see the minnows coming, swimming in between them and swimming alongside of them because they like the comfort of that structure. So that covers stress. Now, the second thing is toxins. Toxins can be chlorine, anything in your water that is toxic to the fish. And that was, I believe, the leading cause of me not being able to keep my minnows alive. So I went to the pet store and I got this water conditioner that's the same as you would use in your inside aquarium. It says to use 1 milliliter for 2 gallons of water. I fill this up close to the top. It's not quite full, so I figure it's about 4.5 gallons. So I put a little over 2 milliliters into this and then let it sit for 24 hours, let it get close to the temperature of the other water, and then I'll replace 25% at a time. The third thing to keep your minnows alive is obviously oxygen. Fish need oxygen to breathe. You want to make sure you have a good aerator system. You can use one from a pet store if you want in your garage, so you aren't using one of those battery operated systems. My angle cooler came with a hole in it for plugging an adapter in to be able to charge it. So I was able to get this adapter off of Amazon, and I think this was 13 bucks, and it's got an adjustment on the back where I can set it anywhere between 3 volts and 12 volts. My cooler takes 3 volts, so I set that up, and all I have to do is plug that into my outlet, plug the other end into the aerator, and bam, I've got oxygen and I don't have to be replacing D-cell batteries while that's running. So I hope with these tips, you'll be able to keep your minnows alive longer and be able to get out there, get fishing, not have to stop to the bait shop and spend so much money buying minnows when you just kill them when you get home. If you have any other ideas of things that have helped you be able to keep your minnows alive, drop them in the comments, let everyone else read it. If you'd like to know more about me, my nickname is Captain Zach. I started a company called czfishing.com, and I do consulting for e-commerce, for website design, marketing, product development, specifically for the fishing industry. So if you're a tackle manufacturer, you run a bait shop, or you're a guide and you're looking to get help with your website, reach out to me, czfishing.com. I'd love to help you out. Until next time, go catch some fish.